All right, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and I've been creating a series of video presentations based on HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, which are kind of the three, as I've used them, legs on a three-legged stool that we'll need to create a website, and that's what we're doing. We are going to start creating a website, hopefully in the next video, but before we do, I've come in here and I tried to create this program. All right, and now that I'm looking at it, these two are not shown right now, so let's see what the problem with that is. Optimal was 18.5. That's right there. Middle piece. And when I ran the program, it ran to a point, but I want to see. So if I put my name in there, my age, my height, and approximately my weight, it just stops right there, and I'm not getting anything to print. That's never good news. All right, it'd be nice to get some kind of feedback, and I'm not right now. So I want to see if I can figure out, well, let's see, there we go. UBMI on line 80. Well, that could be the problem. There's UBMI instead of your BMI. So let's see if that indeed was the problem. So again, Jeff, 64, 72, 225. Still getting an error. Well, I know it's not there. It's saying at 264. So let's see what line 264 is in the script. Now it says now I spelled middle piece wrong on line 88. This is the reason that you don't write as much code as I wrote and then start testing. All right, so notice I spelled that wrong. All right, let's try it again. Jeff, 64, 72, 225. There you go. All right, and notice it gave me my information. Okay, now I want to run through this several times. So do I want to do it again? Yes. All right, Bob. And we're going to say that Bob is 26. He is 70 inches tall and he weighs 140 pounds. And he's of optimal weight. Okay, good. Yes, I want to run it again. And this will be Mary. And we're going to say Mary is 17. And she's 5 feet tall, meaning she's 60 inches. And she's very light. She weighs 90 pounds. So she's underweight. And then we'll run it again and we'll have Fred. And Fred is 55. He is 66 inches tall and he weighs 333 pounds. So he's obese. All right. Now, before I want to run this one more time because I want to run through the error stuff with you. So yes. So enter your name. If I leave it blank, hey, no name inputted, it says do it again. Hey, no name inputted, do it again. Hey, no name inputted, do it again. Okay, so Mark, enter an age, 0. Well, it took that and I'm not sure why. Oh, I know why. So let's go back and fix that. All right, so let me stop the run here. Now, when I made my checks, and I checked the age, I said, is not a number your age. That's correct. But I want to add on to here now, or age is less than min age, or age is greater than max age. And I want to put this whole thing in parens. Now I'm checking for non-numeric and out of range checks as well. We have to do a similar thing here. So for the height, or your, in fact, this should be your age, not age. Otherwise, it's going to break later. So your age. All right, this will be your HGHT if it's less than the min height, or your HGHT is greater than the max height. All right, so I've got that. And let me just grab this because the weight is the same. I just got to change all of the H's in here to W's. So W, 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 W. Wait. Okay. I think I fixed it. We'll find out. Oops. Got to go back again. Remember, we cannot run live server from a CSS file or from a JavaScript file. Got to go back to our HTML, right mouse click, and open it with live server. All right. Now it's not giving me anything, so let's see if I've got another error. Console. Expected token on line 65. So let's check that out. Right? All right, sorry about that. I got a phone call. Even though it was muted, it was making some noise. So let's see. We had this unexpected token at line 65. All right, so these two go together with one. Okay, so those go together, those go together, those go together, those go together, those. I think that fixed that one. But if I've got the problem with the height, I'm going to have the same problem with the weight. So should be one here then too. Let's see if that fixed it. All right, so enter your name. Again, leave it blank, no name inputted, and ask me to do it again. Jeff. Enter your age. If I put 0 in there, hey, no age or non-numeric, now I got to change the message because it should say or out of range. All right, so if I put in 131, again, I should have a different message. So 64, if I put in a height that's out of range, again, I should change the message. And if I put in a weight that's out of range, again, I've got to change the message. And let's just say we don't want to do it again. So total number of underweights, optimal weights, overweights, etc. It actually looks like it's working. So let's go back and change the message. And when we do, we're only at 8 minutes. This will be the last lecture in this particular series of lectures. So first I want to come down here. For whatever reason, it did not. Huh. Oh, you know what? It wasn't there. It was in here. There we go. N. That was missing. Alrighty. We don't need that. Wouldn't hurt to put it in there, but I'm not going to. So I'm going to change my messages here. So enter your name, no name inputted. Hey, no age, comma, non-numeric age, comma, or out of range age inputted. Hey, no height, comma, non-numeric height, or out of range height inputted. Hey, no weight, non-numeric weight, or out of range weight inputted. All right. Now, let's try to make it a little easier on the user running the program. All right, so enter your name, please. Cannot be blank. Enter your age, please. Must be 1 to 130. Oh, not 230. All right, enter your height, please. Must be 12 to 96, I believe is what we said. And finally, enter your weight, please. Must be 1 to 777. All we're trying to do here is to make it as easy as possible for someone to run who's running the program to get it right. So notice if I leave that blank, hey, no name inputted. And it says, enter your name, please. Now, it didn't say. Let's cancel this. In fact, let's stop this and make sure that I saved. Because this should say cannot be blank, and I didn't see it. So file, save, and let's run this. Oops. So let's run this by going over to here and opening it up again with live server. Notice, enter your name cannot be blank. Okay, no name inputted. All right, enter your name, please. So, Jeff, I spelled my own name wrong, but enter your age. Let's put in out of range. Hey, no age, non-numeric, or out of range. Let's do the age again the other way. And again, we get that. All right. So 64 would be within range. How about a height? Let's make it 11. That's out of range. Oh, well, it's the second time when we say enter your height, please, we again want to give them the range, and we're not doing that. So let's again stop this. So I want to change that. I want to grab this line. That'll be my age. When I grab this line, that'll be my name. I want to grab this line. That'll be my height. And I want to grab this line. That'll be my weight. Okay. All right. Let's run it one last time. Hopefully this is it. So again, open it with live server. All right. Enter your name cannot be blank. Hey, no name inputted. Enter your name cannot be blank. Jeff. Enter your age. Must be 1 to 130. Out of range. We get the message. Tells it again. Do it again. Out of range. So 64. Try it with the out of range height. And again, it's got the range. Do it again with the weight. Let's make that out of range. All right, so there's one obese. All right, not great for me, but let's run it again. And let's put in another obese. Bob, who's 22. His height is 55 inches and his weight is 222 pounds. He's also obese. All right, want to run it again? Yes. Enter your name, Mary. We're going to say that Mary is 21. She is 60 inches tall and she weighs 90 pounds, so she's underweight. Run it again. Yes, we'll have Gail, and we'll say she's 30. She is 64 inches tall and weighs 130 pounds. She's optimal. Let's find somebody who's overweight. So, yeah, we'll run it again. This will be Kevin, who we'll say is, let's make him optimal. So let's say he's 72 and he weighs 169 pounds. Oops. So he is 72 and he weighs 169 pounds. He's optimal. Finally, we'll run it one more time, and we'll use Barb, and we'll say Barb is 44. She is 66 inches tall, and she weighs 68 pounds. She's overweight. Now, I don't want to run it again. And notice I've got one underweight, two optimal weights, one overweight, and two obese weights. Guess what? It's working. So that was a lot to throw at you. All right, but before we bring this last one here to a close, let's take a quick look one more time at the program. All right, so taking it from the top, I wrote some simple requirements out. We can't have an empty name. The age must must fall within a certain range, and we use constants, the minimum age of 1 and the maximum age of 130. The height must fall within a range, and the minimum height was 12 and the maximum height was 96. The weight must fall within a range, and the minimum weight was a pound and the maximum weight was 777 pounds. All right. Provided the user entered in things that fell within range for each one of those things that you see right there. All right, so provided that they did, then the next thing for them to do was to figure out the BMI or body mass index. All right, and let's grab that formula that we had before. So figure out the person's body mass index and status based on the numbers below. Now, let's do this, and then let's paste that in. Okay. All right. So we will just put in here weight, and the weight is divided by height times height. All right, and that whole thing is divided by this whole thing, then is divided by multiplied by 703. Then, based on that, if the calculated BMI was less than 18.5, they're underweight. If it was greater than or equal to 18.5 but less than 25, they were of optimal weight. If it was greater than or equal to 25 but less than 30, they were overweight. And if it was greater than 30, as I am, they were obese. So we printed out the person's name, age, height, weight, BMI, and BMI status. So we printed out the person's name, age, height, weight, BMI, and BMI status. We also kept track for each person, or the totals, for the total number of underweights, the total number of optimal weights, the total number of overweights, and the total number of obese weights. Then at the end of the program, so we have to do that outside of the loop, we printed those out. So these were our program constants: minimum age of 1, maximum age of 130, minimum height of 12 inches, 1 foot, maximum height of 96 inches or 8 feet, minimum weight of 1 pound, maximum weight of 777 pounds. Again, those were arbitrary. I could have used other numbers. That's just what I picked. The minimum optimal was 18.5. That is taken from here. All right. The minimum for overweight was 25, and that was taken from here. And the minimum obese was 30, which was taken from here. So those are all of our constants. Then I had several program variables. All right. I've got here an again variable, which allows me to continue the program. All right, a first character, which is going to be the first character that I enter when I ask if I want to run it again. str, which is going to be the string that holds all the person's information. Your name for the username, your age for the user age, your HGHT for the user height, your WGHT for the user weight, your BMI for the calculated user BMI, your stat for the calculated BMI status, the toad under for the total number of underweight people, toad over, or toad opt for the total number of optimal weight people, toad over for the total number of overweight people, and toad obese for the total number of obese people. We put this whole thing inside of a loop, and inside of that loop we had 5 other loops. So this would allow us to continue the program. This kept us in there until we put in a non-blank name. This kept us in here until we put an age in that was between 1 and 130. This kept us in here until we put in a height that was between 12 and 96. This put us into something that was between 1 and 777. All right. Then we calculated the BMI. And we said if it was less than 18.5, we gave them a status of underweight. And we added 1 to our underweight counter. If it was greater than or equal to 18.5 but less than 25, we said that their status was optimal weight, and we added 1 to the total optimal counter. If their BMI was greater than or equal to 25 but less than 30, we set their status at overweight, and we added 1 to the overweight counter. Otherwise, it was greater than 30, so we added 1 to the obese counter. Then we printed out all the information, and we asked the user if they wanted to run the program again. That was all done inside of this big while loop. Once we dropped out of the while loop because we didn't want to run the program again, we printed out the final totals. All right, and I just made the decision. I don't know if it's a conscious decision or an unconscious decision, but I'm going to put my ending curly brace right there. And this curly brace that I have down here, which now is extraneous, I'm going to comment that out. And what I'm going to do is I am going to give one more lecture, and I'm going to talk about functions and how I can break this thing down into a series of routines as opposed to doing it in one big routine. Now, to do that, I've got my choice is, do I make all this stuff in here, all these variables, do I make them what is known as global, meaning they're available to the program always, or do I make them local, meaning if I want to make them available, I've got to pass them? That's a whole nother, what do they call it, bucket of fish or whatever. So what I'm going to do is my function main that's right here, I'm going to bring that down, and that's going to begin here. All right, and I'm going to break this down. So I'm going to have one thing that's going to be called input age, input height, input weight, and then I'll have another one that'll be called calculate BMI status, print out stats, ask to do again, and print out final stats. And I'll come back to do that in just a couple minutes.